This video is by request. It's not entertainment, just the straight dope. It'll throw off Mr. Algo, yes, but the internet to me is still about sharing knowledge with all the lovely weirdos of planet Earth. Watch it through once, then use the timestamps. Let's do it. Let's get... Now that I'm a YouTube sensation with 3 whole subscribers, some of you wanted to know how I create some of those lovely thumbnails, essentially how to go from this to this. This is just a video still, so I'll show you how to take that into a different program. We'll be using Paint 3D today, and the real takeaway is how to create a PNG image of yourself. Initially, I was just taking a picture on my own, just taking a picture and using a simple background, but you can simply download a background and superimpose yourself on it. And I don't use the Canva service, and I also don't use the AI LoRAs. And we'll take a look at that quickly, but we'll do 2 examples today. So if we go to this channel, oh, is it 4 subscribers? Oh my goodness. It's a similar procedure here. Take a picture of yourself, add it to a background, and then add a title. One thing about titles you need to keep in mind is that any text within the title itself, keep it to just 3 or 4 words and nice big letters. You never know how tiny the devices Gen Z is viewing these on are. And second thing, in the bottom right hand corner of your thumbnail here, it's going to show the timestamp. So just be aware that that might be covering up something that might be important, and keep anything away from the edge just in case when you upload it to YouTube, and if your dimensions are off so nothing gets cut off. One of the things you don't want to happen is your head being cut off. It's not a good look. If you do want to learn Canva and how to use it quickly, I recommend Rob the Maritimer's page. Here's his 5-minute thumbnail tutorial in Canva. But really, even though Canva has a free service, you don't need to use it. You can do everything in Paint 3D, including superimposing these titles. I'm not sure why people think it looks really cool to have the title behind you, but that's not really something that's hard. AI LoRA is LoRA, adaptation of a low-ranking adaptation of a large language module. If you want to see how those thumbnails are done, you can click over to Alexa Saarenoja's page. Just do a quick search for thumbnail, and she'll walk you through it. But essentially, this is wonderfully terrifying. You train an AI image generator to create, to recognize your face by uploading 5 different images. And this is wonderful. This YouTube video, again, it's a bit scary, but essentially she trains the LoRA. She looks up what's trending, asks ChatGPT to create a prompt for her, sticks it into the LoRA, and in like 6 seconds it generates an image that she needs. It'll give you an appreciation for what is real and what isn't real. But let's get started here. We'll do 2 examples. Okay. First thing you want to do is open up Paint 3D. So here's Paint 3D. Open. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Here, a new one. You can set this up right out of the gate. 16:9 is what you need. And then change this. I think YouTube's thumbnails is 1280 and by 720. Oops. 720. Okay. Whatever. You can cut this down. It doesn't actually have to be these dimensions, but it does need to be 16:9. You can do it before, do it after, it doesn't matter. Okay. First thing you do is take your image of you and then just do a snippet. So on a Windows machine, you hold down Windows, Shift, and S, move into snippet mode, the screen darkens, and literally just grab that. Okay, now it's on your clipboard. Go back to Paint 3D, Control V, copy and paste, boom, here we are. Then we're going to do a magic select. Come over to magic select here. You can move these in to really fine tune this and help it out. Then click next. It'll do a quick run, but all of this is still going to be in it. The darkened area is removed, but come over here, remove, and you can just paint in a line like that. Zoom in if you need to. And don't get too precious with this. Just remember what your background is going to be like. And then you can airbrush some of this. You might want to get in there. Okay. I remember when I did this initially, I airbrushed the top of my head so that it didn't look so squarish. But just okay, let's say that's perfect, even though boy, this is gonna take me off. Yeah, okay. It done. Okay. So now what it's done is it's separated this from the background. Delete that. Now this background is set up, but we want to just make sure that this is 3D. So click on it. This is telling you it's forward or behind. Okay. But we'll go over here and just add a solid background. Boom. And bring this, oops, bring this back here. You can resize this if you want. And then you're going to add some text to it. You come up here. I sometimes create the text in LibreOffice Writer or Windows uh, in Word, and then you can just copy and paste that in case you want um, some more choices in terms of style. But let's call this I am. Where did I have this brand? I think that's how I put it. Oops, is that there? Make this bold. Give it color choice. Jack this up to 94. Oh, where'd you go? Yep, we're going to do that again. All right. And then move that there. And then you can resize this as you wish. One thing you should remember that if you do text in the in this viewer, you won't have the same flexibility to make it 3D. Um, so I would actually recommend making this in Windows or Writer or Microsoft Word and then dumping it in here. But that is essentially how you do it. Oops. This one was an early one. I didn't do this properly. You can see how it budgeted up. But essentially, that's how you go from there to there. So again, quick PNG with Magic Select. Let's look at another one. Here's an image I just downloaded, and we're going to superimpose me into it. And where do you get these images? I use Pixabay. You can use Pexels and just literally search for curling. These are free images. Um, you can download one and end a story. That's actually how I did the post image as well. I just downloaded something, a picture of myself, and created it that way. Okay, so it's not hard. Okay, so we'll do a second one. Here we're going to make this post image, and it's a combination of three things. A picture that we PNG'd, a free background that we downloaded, and then just a title. If you're using Paint 3D, I recommend any text, create that in a text editor first so that it can be a 3D image. Sometimes you'll have an issue with um, placement in terms of in the foreground and the background, and it won't be visible with some of these 3D style images. So let's first take care of this fella here. Let's say we're using this image. So we have a background here. I've just opened this up in Photos, which is the replacement, I think, for Paint 3D. You go into Edit and AI here, click Remove, and it removes everything. Do a quick check to make sure that something hasn't been removed that you wanted to keep. You can click this background brush tool and bring it back in. It just creates a mask. Save it as a copy. It'll default to PNG. We'll call this dash head. Save that. And now you can see that it's gone. So we're going to search for this fella here. Have your Paint 3D ready to go. And then just bring in dash head. Now this will likely be a larger size than the canvas we got. No problem. Don't worry about this background. Hit make 3D. And then reduce the size that you need. It doesn't matter what order you bring in the images, so we can do the background first. I just decided not to. Let's drop that in for now. That's where it is. And then grab your background image. So I've just downloaded a free image here, and it's the exact same procedure. To make that 3D, I should do that first. It's quite large. Reduce that. Okay. So what's nice is it's already behind. Now this obviously is a different it's a different size, but you can see exactly where it's going to be cut off here. Sorry. If this was in front, just click and drag, and then you can move this behind. Okay. That's there, slightly bigger. And we'll actually cut it off with crop before we export, so we know exactly where it's supposed to be. This should probably be about there. And then the last thing to do is grab our title. So I've just got a document here. I just wrote curling for life. Copy. Move that in. Copy and paste. You can see it's behind because it's actually pasted right onto the original canvas. Make 3D and then move that forward. And this is actually how you can choose to have some of the letters behind. So if you pull this back, you just get it in front of the background behind. Ooh, very stylized, right? That's all there is. Nothing crazy. I don't like how that looks. Let's put it there. Okay. That's it. You can crop this down to a 16 by 9. Hit done. Again, it doesn't matter what the actual size is, just make sure it's 16 by 9. It will affect your resolution, but you can change it to 1280 by 720 and hit done. That's where it is. File. Save as, or else go save a project. That's the image that you're exporting. So go back and move this around a little bit, but essentially that's your thumbnail. Okay. And that's it.